I've made micarta in the past. First off was this blue jean bracelet that I made. And this is just out of a pair of old blue jeans. That one was my tablet holder from a book that I didn't like. Micarta is simply layers of either paper or fabric and resin. And today we're going to use cardstock. We're ready to go. Some things that I've learned from making it in the past. One, you're going to need a lot more resin than you think you are. I think I used 30 ounces of resin when I made the tablet stand holder. I want to make sure that I mix a good amount of resin. The last thing is you have to work fast. You don't have very much time to spread all the glue before it starts to dry, and you've got to put it on 20 sheets of paper. It's going to take a long time. So I made this roller, which is just a block of HDPE and an old handle from a paint can that I snipped off. And I should be able to roll the resin on really easily. Okay, here we go. The clock is now ticking on the resin. So let's put down our first piece of paper. See how much this eats up. And the laminate should let it release, so hopefully that'll actually work. Putting down a piece of wax paper would have been smart, and now I wish I'd done that, but I just remembered that I was going to do that, and it's too late for that now, because I'm in the middle. So we move forward. This roller's working out fantastically. So glad I'm not trying to do this with paintbrush. I think that would be a pain. Move faster, Peter, move faster. On to blue. This is definitely going to take a while. All right, on to orange. Aren't you glad I didn't make a stupid orange joke? This table is definitely swimming in resin. There's no doubt about that. The shop smells horrible, even with the door open. This roller's working out great though. That was a great idea. Really happy with that. Totally patting myself on the back for that one. Last piece, last piece. All right, so laid down a piece of parchment paper here, and I've got my sticky mess over here, and I'm just going to flip it from this over to this. All right, cool. Oh, it's slipping around now. Just a slippery mess. And I'm starting to get a little frustrated. If you can hear the tone in my voice, you could tell that frustration has seeped in. Okay, loving this. Great idea, Peter. Wonderful project. Everything is covered in resin. My hands, the table, the ground. And now I can't clamp it because every time I try to clamp it, it just slips around like a wet oyster. I need to press it down somehow. But I also need to be able to see it so that I know that it's not slipping. So the two appear to be mutually exclusive. You just never know how these things are going to work out, because in my head I was just going to sandwich two pieces of wood together, you know, with this laminate on it, but it's just a slippery mess. So doing this method of securing one end and then the middle and then the other end, I don't know, it seems to be the only thing that's really working. I just need to find a piece of wood that's the right size, or at least as big, so this will work. And I'll just secure this the same way. All right. Not exactly what I envisioned. But what is these days? All right, let's see how we did. It's been 24 hours. That's where that goes. Ooh, it looks like maybe our method worked. Folding it up. To remember that for the future. Oh, right. But I glued this board to it, didn't I? Very hard. It feels like we got a good bond. Now that looks like micarta. So I'm going to give it a couple of days more of cure time just to make sure it's completely hardened before moving on to the next step. Okay, so that was 8 months ago. And I decided I was never going to show this footage. Is that I didn't like the way I got upset in the video. The video could have been entitled, "The Easiest Way to Make Micarta." 20 sheets of paper, 10 ounces of resin, and you're done. I could have just left it on that table, walked away. At the very least, I could have put another board on top and a paint can on top of that. But no, in my head, I had already decided that I needed to put clamping pressure on that. So when it didn't work out, instead of taking a step back and saying, why did I think I wanted clamping pressure so badly? I just barreled ahead. One failed idea after another, getting super frustrated, and I ended up distorting the blank. It actually dips down in the middle here because of the amount of pressure that I put on it, and I didn't do it evenly. So I actually made things worse than they would have been had I just stopped earlier. And since the beginning of making videos on YouTube, I have always left in my mistakes. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to leave those in because I feel like I make a lot of mistakes. But the truth is everybody makes a lot of mistakes. It's just a part of making. So just know that. And if you learn anything from this, learn that if you're in the heat of something and it's getting you frustrated, it's not worth it. Just leave the shop, take a breather, come back when your head's cleared, or you might wind up with a crease in your micarta. I'm going to think I'm just leaving you hanging. I promised there was going to be a video out of this material very soon, but I didn't want to clutter up that video with this sort of stumbling process. I didn't want that video to be about me stumbling through this process. And I also didn't want the material to just magically appear in the video and people go, where did you get that? So I felt like this needed to be a separate video. But I promise, there will be one coming shortly. I am going to start working on it as soon as I turn off this camera. Thank you very much for watching. Look for the micarta project coming soon.